Hace tiempo que no envío buenos días, te amo. Pero tú me tienes enredado, me envolví.
It is our first full day in Anuradhapura. Ash is over here setting up the tuk-tuk.
Just getting the tuk-tuk ready. Make sure this is your handbrake on, off. Your reverse gear is like this. You can pull it up. Got two little locking cabinets, which are the fella said they're easy to break into, so don't leave any serious valuables in there. And yeah, we're good to go. We're gonna head towards Jaya Sri Mahabodhi Temple. From here, from our little guest house, which is called Punkalasa Inn, it should only take about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what the roads are going to be like. I think they should be quiet because we are actually in the compound of the sacred city, which is pretty cool. Oh dear. The weather was lovely, and as we got close to Sri Mahabodhi, and after I'd finally stopped stalling the tuk-tuk, the drive itself was actually pretty straightforward.
Here we go. First reverse parking.
This was one of those places I'd been genuinely excited to visit, not just as a tourist spot, but because of the sheer historical and spiritual significance it holds for so many people around the world. We saw a cat that's taken some shade in our tuk-tuk because the one next to us moved away. But this parking here, I think it's free, I'm not sure. I've not seen anyone charge us before, so we'll try and figure out how to get to this place.
I believe the reason why the tree is so worshipped is because it was taken from a Bodhi tree or a Bo tree from India, which was the tree of enlightenment, and it was grown from that tree. That's the information I found so far. Hopefully we'll learn a bit more as we go in.
Okay, so we've made our way in. Two things to note: you're not allowed your shoes, so you've got to go in either barefoot or with your socks on, and the ground here is absolutely roasting, so make sure you are wearing socks. And the second thing is, if you're wearing shorts, make sure you bring something to cover up. So if you are going to go into the temple, you can pay your respects in an appropriate manner. The Bodhi tree in the temple in Anuradhapura was planted all the way back in 288 BC, and that means it's been growing here for over 2,300 years. The story behind it is amazing. As Pash mentioned, the branch was taken from an original Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India, the very tree under which Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment and became Buddha. When you first arrive, the first thing you notice is the site itself. The tree stands on raised platforms above the ground and is surrounded by golden railings and protective fig trees planted around it. Walking through the gardens, you'll see pilgrims dressed in white offering flowers, strings and whispering prayers. The atmosphere is calm, and you can sort of feel a connection to centuries of the spiritual practice. You definitely feel how important this place is, not just to Sri Lankans, but to Buddhists around the world. People have been coming here for generations to offer respect, perform rituals, and reflect in the shade of the tree that's older than many countries themselves. And it's in the heart of Anuradhapura's ancient sacred city, surrounded by other stupas, ruins, and shrines that all tell the story of Sri Lanka's deep Buddhist heritage. Not sure if you can see, but there's a peacock over there. So now we're heading to Ranmasu Uyana, which is it's called the Royal Pleasure Gardens. It was built during the 10th century, and it was just sort of a retreat for the Sri Lankan royalty at the time. Behind Ranmasu Uyana is Tissa Wewa, a man-made reservoir built in the 3rd century to supply water to the city of Anuradhapura and the surrounding gardens. And then a short walk from there is Isuramuniya Temple. I didn't really talk too much about it at the time, and I was exhausted, it was hot, and I was walking around barefoot, but it would have felt wrong to leave it out, especially when you're visiting somewhere like this. The best vantage point is up on the rocks, where you can clearly see the surrounding area, including the remaining stupas in the distance. Down below, there's a small lake with a sign warning about crocodiles, though the dog we saw sitting right next to it didn't seem too concerned. Keeping with the theme of spotting as many animals as possible on our trip, we also saw a cat and a squirrel chasing each other around here. If you want more on the history, I'll probably make a separate video at some point, although, based on my track record, I wouldn't rely on that happening anytime soon, but never say never.
Waiting at the lights. So we've been to the supermarket now. The town was pretty busy. Like 1:30 is when school's finished. So if you're staying in a town, that's when it's going to be busiest. But as soon as we've got back into Anuradhapura sacred city, like the old city. It's much quieter again, and there's hardly anybody on the road. The roads are quite narrow, so two tuk-tuks side by side fit easily down this road. A car and a tuk-tuk, you know, you're okay, just stay calm. A bus coming, technically it fits, but
Not great.
yeah, there's not a lot of room.
And I think that's it for today. I don't really follow a structure with these videos, I just sort of enjoy it and pick and choose what I talk about and just go with the flow in terms of what we film. Considering this was only our second day of this trip, I'm starting to get into it a bit more now, and the next video will take us to Trincomalee on the northeastern coast of Sri Lanka. Hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you for watching Why Not Ash.